To be honest, waiting is not something most of us enjoy, especially when we're eagerly anticipating a change or improvement in our lives. Waiting can be incredibly frustrating, but the most challenging kind of waiting is when we find ourselves waiting on God. It's when God asks us to wait for things to get better, to see improvement or change, and yet nothing seems to be happening. Throughout the Bible, we are repeatedly instructed to wait on the Lord. Being in God's waiting room can be the most difficult place to be in life. It's that space where we are desperately hoping for something to happen while God's timing seems different from ours. Some of you might be waiting to graduate, get married, start a family, launch a business, close a significant deal, achieve a big goal, or fulfill a dream. You're in a hurry for various things, but God's timing doesn't align with yours. As humans, waiting goes against our nature, and waiting on God can be particularly challenging. Have you ever found yourself in a hurry while God seems to be taking His time? You pray fervently, believing it's God's will, yet you wonder why He hasn't come through yet. This is when you find yourself in the waiting room of life, feeling impatient and tempted to rush God. You want things to happen right now, and as time goes by, you might grow weary, discouraged, and even contemplate giving up. However, it's in these waiting rooms of life where we learn to trust God the most. It's through the pain of waiting that our faith is strengthened, and our character is molded. Trusting God becomes a crucial lesson during these difficult times. You see, while you're focused on working towards your goals, dreams, or visions, God is also working on you. He is far more interested in your personal growth and character development than in what you achieve, because it's your character that you'll take with you to eternity, not your accomplishments. Sometimes, God affirms that He intends to fulfill His promises, answer prayers, and bring forth visions. However, He may also see that you're not fully prepared yet. He desires for you to grow and mature before those things can come to fruition. Often, we mistakenly think we're waiting on God for something to happen, when in reality, God is waiting on us. He wants us to develop and be ready for what He has planned. During this waiting period, God is refining us, building our character, and strengthening our faith. So, even though waiting is challenging and it may seem like God is silent or distant, remember that He has a purpose in those waiting rooms of life. He wants to grow you and develop your character. He wants you to trust Him even when His timing doesn't align with yours. Ultimately, it's through the waiting that God prepares us for His blessings and fulfills His plans in our lives. God allows delays and tests our faith because He wants to prepare us and grow us. The blessings He has in store for us are often far greater than what we can currently handle. We may not be ready for them yet, and that's why we find ourselves waiting. It's important to understand that a delay is not a denial. There's a significant difference between no and not yet. Immature children struggle to grasp this concept. When you tell a child not yet, They may interpret it as a rejection because they don't understand that a delay is not the same as a denial. God has plans and visions for our lives, and He intends to fulfill them. However, He knows when the right time is for us to receive those blessings. Sometimes, we're the ones who are not ready yet. God is waiting on us to grow, mature, and align with His plans. It's crucial to remember this because being in God's waiting room can tempt us with negative emotions. We may start worrying, stressing out, becoming anxious, irritable, spiritually stagnant, envious, or jealous of others' progress or blessings. When we find ourselves in the waiting room of life, it's important to trust God and resist falling into negative emotions and self-pity. We must remember that God is not a vending machine where we insert a prayer and instantly receive what we desire. There's always a delay, and that delay is intentionally designed to teach us to trust Him and develop our character. A delay is not a denial. Throughout the Scriptures, we see examples of individuals who experienced delays but eventually received the promises of God. Noah waited 120 years for the fulfillment of God's instruction to build the ark. Abraham became a father in his old age, as God had promised. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before leading the Israelites out of Egypt. Joseph faced numerous trials and setbacks before becoming a ruler. King David was anointed as king but had to wait for years before taking the throne. Even Jesus spent 30 years in preparation before beginning His ministry. During delays, we may feel forgotten or believe that God has abandoned us. We might question if our problems matter to Him. These doubts and feelings are common, as expressed in various Psalms. However, it's important to remember that God never gives up on us. He cares deeply about us, and our trials are part of His work in us. Our names are written on the palms of His hands, and He is continually at work, even in the midst of delays. Your name is permanently etched on the palms of God's hands. It is a symbol of His unwavering concern and care for you. No matter the storms you may be facing, God cannot forget you. You have never left His thoughts or His heart. Sometimes, during delays, we may feel as if we have been forgotten, but that is not the case. God never delays without a purpose. He knows you intimately, understanding your heart and everything you ask of Him. If it seems like God is not acting according to your expectations, be patient, for His love for you remains constant. Remember that your name is tattooed on His palm, a reminder that He knows who you are and will never forget you. Often, God's timing may disappoint us. We may have been praying fervently for something specific, needing an answer within a particular time frame. When God doesn't respond as we desire, we may wonder if we did something wrong or if our prayers went unheard. It is crucial to understand that God's love for you is not based on the love He has for anyone else. He loves you unconditionally. In the darkest moments of life, envision Jesus looking beyond your fears, assuring you to trust Him because He is right there with you. Though God's timing may not align with our hopes, we can trust the one who controls the timing. We often struggle to trust someone else's timing because it means relinquishing control. We would rather request God to fulfill His plan and purpose for our lives according to our own preferences. As a parent, many have observed that our children also struggle with waiting on our timing. They dislike being patient and prefer their own way. Yet, if they would trust our timing, they would realize it is for their own good, leading to blessings and prosperity. Similarly, you can choose to live life in frustration, anxiety, stress, and anger, or you can find rest by placing your trust in God's timing. Trusting His timing brings peace, removes disappointment, hurt, and bitterness from your heart, and allows you to recognize that God is in control of your life. Why doesn't God reveal everything that will happen in your life from the beginning? There are a few reasons. First, knowing everything in advance would overwhelm and potentially scare us. But the main reason is that God wants us to trust Him. He wants us to live one day at a time, relying on His goodness and love. In Acts 1 verse 7, Jesus tells us that knowing the exact timing is the Father's business, not ours. We are not meant to know all the details in advance. God has a timetable for our lives, but He does not reveal the specifics. If we could fully comprehend why God does what He does, we would be God. His timing is not just good, it is perfect because He knows every detail, past, present, and future. He knows our needs, wants, and what is wisest for us. Waiting upon God's timing is always the right decision. When we choose to wait, it is an act of trust, acknowledging that we are placing our faith in Him. We acknowledge and trust that your timing, God, is superior to our own. You possess knowledge beyond our comprehension, and your timing is consistently impeccable. Therefore, we choose to place our trust in You and patiently await Your permission to proceed, whether it involves going somewhere, accomplishing something, acquiring possessions, or making decisions. It's important to recognize that God's intention is never to deprive us, but rather to provide what is ultimately best for us. This requires faith, being willing to trust God's timing before taking action. Imagine the extraordinary life we could experience if we could trust God in every aspect, all the time. Trusting God means relinquishing our attempts to control outcomes and instead waiting on Him. Waiting is a challenging concept, and God does not always act according to our desired timeline or methods. However, just know that if you keep your focus on God and trust Him to be your reward, vindicator, and provider, you will receive blessings that far surpass the troubles you've encountered. Trusting God does not guarantee immediate gratification, rather, it signifies our belief that God will provide what we seek when the timing aligns perfectly. Broken hearts can heal, bodies can recover, and disappointment can lead to new dreams. When one door closes, another opens if we simply place our trust in God. Regardless of whether it seems like God has forgotten about us, the truth is that we are not invisible to Him. He knows our exact whereabouts and the intricacies of our lives. He understands our capacity to handle situations and recognizes our limits. While He may not always be early, He is never late. God's timing is consistently flawless. If we genuinely believe that He has our best interests at heart, we will patiently wait. Some may argue that they don't have time to waste, but waiting on God is never a waste of time. We ultimately discover that His timing is always right. It is essential to remember that God has a purpose for us as long as we remain on this planet. Even when it feels like God has forgotten us, He hears and sees us. You are not invisible to God. He is aware of your circumstances, and He knows exactly how much you can endure. While He may not arrive early, He will never be late. God's timing is consistently perfect. Do you believe that He genuinely desires what is best for you? If your answer is yes, then you will choose to wait, for His timing is always right.